The purpose of this video is to review what you learned in Google Classroom 101, and then we'll end up ready for Google Classroom Next Steps. So let's get started. Thinking, how did one get to Google Classroom? If you were thinking, the website that is right up here, classroom.google.com, you're exactly right. There's a multitude of ways. If you are using classroom.google.com, there are other links that you can use within the Google apps, as well as if you are using the Chromebooks, there's a link in the bottom left corner, that little icon that looks like this, but it's not exactly this because it's in the bottom left corner. So getting to Google Classroom is one of the first things we learn, classroom.google.com. From there, another item that we were able to learn was how to get to your specific class. So if you've already added and created a class, now how do you go back to that class that you've added and created? So now there's several ways. Were you thinking go to the main menu, the dashboard, and then scroll down to the class that you are teaching, specifically one maybe titled Google Classroom Next Steps? Were you thinking to use at the home page, it looks like this, where you're using the preview icons that look like these squares here? Those are two ways to get to your class that you have added and created. Next, we learned in Google Classroom 101 where you would see your announcements in a specific class or your assignments in a specific class. So using the home page and the preview icon, I can look for where I would see my announcements or my assignments. And if you were able to see the idea that right in the stream, so your workflow would be in the stream, and that's where all your announcements and your assignments would present themselves. From there, how would you add students? In Google Classroom 101, we were able to learn to add students, that we had to do this by going to Invite and then finding the names of the students we wanted. Another method of doing this was to share the class code, where students could, at the home page, add and join your class with that specific class code. So adding students can be done several ways. Either you invite them or give them the class code. From there, how do you go and see, once you're in a specific class, such as right now I see my Google Classroom Next Steps view, I see now the stream, the workflow of it, but how do I get to a specific class other than this? The other classes I might be assigned to or teaching for. Classroom main menu, you can scroll to that, either go back to the home page to see all the preview icons of all the classes that you are instructing or all the classes that you are a student for. All right, as well as you could go to the dashboard, those menu choices there, and see all of the listed forms of the classes you are teaching or all the classes that you were enrolled in as a student. Let's get ready now for Google Classroom Next Steps.